When we began making these conversation starting t-shirts, quickly we realized how students really struggled to share their faith in a tactful way. So we said, let's help the youth pastors and the leaders have some tools to train the kids how to do this. And this wouldn't just be like a one-time weekend event, but this would be a series of multiple weeks back to back where the kids could really get it down deep and master it. Thus, the local immersion was born. As we began to see the synergy of the groups working together and the kids really just put their heart out there, they were struggling, they had fears, they had doubts, and the amazing thing was that they started to encourage each other. And they challenged each other to go out and actually share their faith as a group. When we saw this, we said this is exactly the kind of experience kids need to propel them to reach out to their own context.
Here's how it works. Once the leaders pick out 2 walking proclamation shirts, they begin working through the leader's guide to prepare about 6 to 8 weeks out from the start date. Each week there will be some equipping, some role-playing, some praying, and some sharing. While you lead, students will be using their conversation guide to process through their thoughts to make it more personal and genuine for them. During these first 2 weeks, you will be teaching about the topics on the shirts and rehearsing the 5 tips for connecting with people. The next 2 to 4 weeks will be dedicated to showing how both Jesus and Paul spread the good news. You can choose how long you want it to go, but each week, students will give feedback and share stories about how their week went, what is working, and what is challenging. This is where you and your leaders can coach students on a more personal level and start to see habits of mission begin to form. When the immersion is finished, there are several ways you can continue the teaching about nurturing those discipling relationships they started.
You could almost think of the local immersion like a local missions trip, but with several distinct advantages. It's local focus. Staying local makes it easier to understand cultural and social dynamics. It's sustainability. Students can apply teaching and practice to their current relationships or start longer relationships they can continue to develop and sustain. It's frequency. Since the immersion is drawn out over 4 to 6 weeks, it gives ample time for practice, failure, follow-up, and ultimately creating conversation and proclamation habits. It's affordability. While going to another city or country has its benefits, the local immersion is much more affordable for students and provides tools they can use long after it's done. Making disciples is the overall goal, but the conversation has to start somewhere. That's where the local immersion comes in.
But we can't lose what we never did earn. Walk with the sun so my life's gonna burn. Never giving up and I'm never gonna turn. Going in the dark till the Lord return. Yeah, Genesis 1:3 on mine, homie. So let there be lights. I'm trying to shine, homie.
In a dark world, how they gonna know if we don't put His glory on display?